I always have to illustrate and tell the story of Nelson Mandela here, because Stephen, in the first couple of weeks in the news, was reported as a drug dealer, as a gang member, as someone this was more likely to happen to because of his affiliations, because of his way of life. And it wasn't until we met Nelson Mandela and, he came out afterwards and spoke to the press about how he understood that black lives in South Africa meant nothing. But he never understood or knew that black lives in this country would mean nothing as well. And just by him saying those few words, changed the narrative. And in that changing the narrative, then changed our perspectives of what happened next. A week later, the boys was arrested. A week later, the government was listening to us. And it wasn't really until the change of government that the real change and momentum that happened with the public inquiry, the McPherson reports, all the other bits of landmark things that was happening or happened to ensure that in 2011 we gained a little bit of justice and two people was found guilty of Stephen's murder. So it's hard, it is hard, but I always say to people this, I know for a fact that the things that drove my mum and dad on are the things that drives me on today, which is Stephen's death cannot be in vain. The losing of my brother and all that it has constituted personally for me to lose cannot be done in vain. So we push on every day to ensure that no one else has to suffer, no one else has to go through the same things that we went through as a family due to other people's decision-making processes and other people and establishments' decision-making processes. That's what we've tried to do.
So how did you manage that public grief? You're grieving as a family, and at the same time, the whole world's watching you. How did you deal with that yourself personally?
Well, I was lucky. My mum and dad shielded us, both me and my sister, away from the public eye as much as possible. But like I said before, it was hard because you're seeing things about your family and you're seeing things about a situation, about, like Kathy was saying, which you don't believe are right and that are fundamentally not right. And that's really frustrating. Plus, you're also dealing with losing someone that you love and you care for so much. And like I said, you then come to the battleground of, okay, I can put that aside as long as I know losing that person isn't in vain. That's the next part that kicks in. And as I said, over time, I've realised that, there's different elements of grief that you go through. And I still don't believe I've been through all the elements completely. And I don't think I ever will do, because I feel a sense of, with death and losing someone, if it's of natural causes and that they've led a beautiful life and they've just come to the end of their time, you can accept that. There's a way of processing that. But when someone's ripped from you, no right reason, no reason where you can go, okay, that's just, it makes sense. If you can't make sense of the loss, then that compounds it even more. That's what happens.
Sure.
And that's the bit that's hard to deal with. And as I said, I don't think I'll ever completely deal with it. I don't think I'll ever completely get over it. It is part of my life. I learn how to live with it. I have good days, I have bad days. And when I have my bad days, I try to find people around me to help and support me through those.